Hi there, my name is Sam Griffin. You probably already know that. Today I'm going to tell you very pretentiously why you should arrange music for guitar, why you should do your own solo guitar arrangements if you're a finger-picking guitar player, nylon, finger style, whatever. Number one, okay? The first thing is ear, okay? Now, in order to arrange well, you got to have a good ear. And because of the fact that the skill of arranging requires an ear, a good ear, you will develop a good ear by doing it. And you will not develop a good ear if you don't do things that tax your ear. So just sitting there like playing scales or working on pieces it's not necessarily going to test your ear that much because of those activities are mainly mechanical. Now, of course, you are listening, you are hearing pitches. So in some way, I'm sure you're osmosing some amount of ear skill, I guess. But there are certain things that we guitarists don't have to do that a lot of other musicians have to do, and it results in them getting a good ear. And because we don't have to do them, it results in us having crappy ears. So if you're a singer, for example, and you want to learn a piece of music, you're learning a song, it's all ear. What are the pitches that I'm hearing? Me matching those pitches, right? And that's all just your brain saying, hey, that pitch is flat, dude, bring that up, right? Same thing with if you play cello or you play violin or whatever. These instruments without frets where you actually have to nail those pitches, and you have to constantly be listening to the note so you're accurate on those pitches. It's a blessing and a curse, but like on guitar, we don't have to do this stuff. We never have to worry about if our notes are in tune, aside from, before we start playing when we use our tuner, right? Who's tuning by ear? It's 2025, dude. So for that reason, there's a few things that you can do as a guitar player that will work on your ear, that will make your ear better. And the ones that come to mind to me are arranging, composing, and improvisation, right? All of those things they're gonna make your ear better because you need your ear to do them well, right? Good luck writing a cool composition if you don't have a good ear. Obviously, good luck, improvising. I've got a pretty good ear and I suck at improvising. There's more to it than that, obviously. But I'm a really good arranger, and the main reason I'm a good arranger is because I have a good ear. Because I started with my ear. So when I started learning classical guitar stuff, I was not using tabs. I was just trying to learn stuff by ear. At the beginning of every single arrangement I do, it's a whole bunch of ear-related stuff. It's a whole bunch of what's that pitch, what's that chord, and me trying to find it on my guitar and put that into Guitar Pro, right? So that's one reason. Arranging is going to make you better with your ear, which is going to translate to other skills, okay? So number two, your own stuff. Your own stuff. A lot of you guys are playing not your own stuff. A lot of you guys are playing other stuff that exists. Hey, nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to judge you. That's mostly what I do, right? I'm playing stuff that's not my own. But there is an element of arranging that is original, in the sense that you're obviously not making a new composition, but there's definitely an art or at least a craft to arranging, in the sense that you're taking something and your ability, your skill, your ear, your technical ability on guitar is all going in to how well is this translating to guitar, and how good of a translation are you doing in terms of like, here's a MP3 file I'm listening to of this particular song, and then I've walked it through this particular process, and here I am now with the arrangement. And as you know, if you look up, like, there's a lot of people doing a lot of the same arrangements, and a lot of them are very, very different. A lot of people handle things in different ways, and there's a lot of art to that. So once you finish an arrangement, you have a unique thing that no one else is going to play unless you give it to them. But no one else is going to create it because you created it, right? That is your creation, in a sense. Start dipping your toes into your own creation, right? Your own stuff. Now, that leads me to my third point of why you should arrange, bud. Composing, dude. It's a doorway to composition. I really do think arranging is a doorway to composing. I got this course in this group, and all these people who are doing arrangements, a lot of them are doing compositions too. And I think that there's a link there. I think the reason why is because arranging is effectively, it's taking some kind of source material. And in the case of arranging, it's a file, right? It's an MP3 file of a particular song you wanna figure out on guitar, create an arrangement for, right? It's taking that source material and transmuting it into something that is playable, right? In composing, there's a lot of that same stuff going on, except the source material you're also creating. So that phase from, arranging where you have the source material and you're transmuting it in composition, depending on the process you use to compose, for me, it looks a lot like I'm generating the source material, and then that transmutation process is exactly the same. Okay. I know I don't put a lot of my compositions on YouTube, but I do have a lot of stuff that I write. And one of my favorite ways to do it is basically generate source material without thinking about guitar. So essentially, when I'm taking an arrangement, when I'm doing an arrangement, the main stuff is the melody and the bass, right? It's what's the melodic line, what's the bass, and that's a lot of the idea. That's a lot of what makes a piece of music enjoyable, is that melody and the underlying harmonic structure. And a lot of that underlying harmonic structure is just the bass notes, right? So I'll generate source material that is just that, right? Just a bass, just a melody. And then from there, it's almost like I'm doing an arrangement, right? I'm adding stuff to it. I'm figuring out where to play it. I'm figuring out what's practical. And you can do this like in Guitar Pro in the same way that you would arrange something. So that's a great reason. That's a great reason to get into arranging, because I think it's a really good door to composing, because there's so many skills that are similar in each of them. Now, here's another thing, man. This is number 4, okay? It's your technique, bro. Now, I can tell you for sure, dude, that I am so much better of a guitar player than I would have been if I just stuck to playing the classical guitar repertoire that everybody plays. Don't get me wrong, that stuff is awesome. But the amount of technical hurdles that I've had to tackle with my own arranging is just like, they're uncountable. And it's because this stuff was not written for guitar, If you play something by, Fernando Sor or Tarrega or whatever, it was written by a dude sitting there with his guitar in hand, right? I mean, I know there's certain composers where, that wasn't the case, of course. But like, Barrios and stuff like that, Villa-Lobos and all that. This was somebody with a guitar writing stuff for guitar. Now that's cool. That's great. That's awesome. But there's a lot of things that crop up technique-wise when the source material is not guitar related. Just earlier I was going over somebody's arrangement, and it was a thing with a vocalist, right? And it was like a pop song with a vocalist. And a lot of times the way that vocalists will do things, the way that they'll dance around, the way that they're less repetitive in the lines that they do, is stuff that you don't normally encounter with music written on guitar or for guitar, right? So I can't tell you, especially with my Guitar Bros stuff, where me and Steve have had to do, and if you don't know, I got a duet called Super Guitar Bros. So much stuff has come out of those arrangements in Guitar Bros, partially because we have to perform this stuff, so there's a little bit more incentive to actually drill this crap. But I just cannot tell you how many aspects of my technique have improved because of the fact that I play things that were not written for guitar, right? Just awkward moves that you wouldn't think you'd ever have to do, that ultimately, once you get them under your fingers, it's like, it makes a lot of other stuff a lot easier, okay? So that's my 4th one, dude. That's my 4th one. What's my 5th one? Dude, here's my 5th one. Shareable. So if you're one of these whippersnappers that wants to make a YouTube channel, let's say you want to make a cool YouTube channel, and I think YouTube is a tremendous place to basically, simulate an aspect of music, closing the loop, so to speak. I think that sharing music is so important, and having a reason to do arrangements, work on your technique, beyond just I'm in my room playing guitar. That's all cool. That's all great. Okay. But I swear to God, if you get in the habit, or you start sharing your stuff in some way, let's say on YouTube, or you're doing live stuff or whatever, it just gives more fuel to the fire. It gives you more of a reason to practice and all that stuff. Right? And now, of course, it is totally the case that you can play if you learned Barrios's La Catedral or whatever, and you wanted to share that, and you wanted to record it and put it on YouTube, that's great. You want to play that live, that's awesome. But I think there's an extra thing that's special when you know that you're playing something that nobody else has ever played. And the only ways to really do that is to write your own thing, which of course is awesome, or you could do an arrangement of something that already exists. And the cool thing about an arrangement that already exists, especially when it comes to the internet stuff like YouTube, is that there's already a hook. There's already a hook in the sense that, like, if you have a thing you've arranged and it's, let's say, Britney Spears, whatever, like Britney Spears Toxic, dude. It's like people know that song, and so it's a lot easier for that to spread a little bit more. So shareability. Now, listen, bud, you don't have to arrange. I just think it's cool. I've been doing it for a long time, and I've gotten a lot out of it, obviously. But those are my ideas. Now, here's the thing. If you want to get better at arranging, if you want to level up your arranging, there's a link in the description down below. You can click that. There's like an explainer on like what I'm doing with my course and all that kind of crap. If you're interested in that, hit that up. If not, it's totally cool, totally optional. But yeah, man. So again, it's number one, your ear. It's gonna make your ear better. Number two, it's your own stuff. Okay, there's something cool about having your own stuff, right? Number three, it's a great doorway to composing, right there. Number four, you're gonna make your technique better because you're gonna do weird stuff that you've never had to do before. Okay, and then number five, you're gonna be making stuff that's shareable. That if you want to get some views on the tube, okay, it's gonna help because it's gonna be shareable stuff that people are already searching. Okay, that's all. Give me a like, comment, and subscribe.